The bad news is this is the hardest part. The good news is this is the hardest part. And we're all feeling a lot of feelings right now, and they're what I call slash feelings. So we might be feeling worried / bored / lonely / anxious / grateful / disconnected. There's a lot going on with all of us because a lot has happened in a short amount of time. Our whole lives have changed in a matter of days, and that is hard for our brains to wrap themselves around. So we're struggling. A lot of us are struggling right now. And so I'm going to talk to you today about what we can do to help ourselves cope better, to handle ourselves better, to feel better as we go through this hardest part. If you're new here, welcome to our amazing little corner on the internet. Take a minute, introduce yourself in the comment section below. And if you are back again, I am so glad to have you back, to have this conversation with you. Either way, my name is Kristina, and I'm a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of the Shift Society. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I work to help heart-centered go-getter men and women break through the crap that is holding them back so that they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And because of what's happening in the world right now, we all need extra support. We all need extra help. We all need extra tools. We all need a positive, safe place to be. We all need to learn how to manage our minds and emotions better, especially now. So we have opened up registration temporarily to the Shift Society for those of you who want that or need that extra right now. The link is in the description. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about our feelings. Let's talk about what's happening. And the truth is, there is no right way to feel right now. And a lot of us have been maybe getting upset with ourselves because we are thinking, I should be feeling this way, or I shouldn't be feeling that way, or I should be feeling more like this. Or maybe we are having expectations of other people. They should be handling it like this. They should be feeling like this. They should be doing this. And we have a lot of expectations. We have a lot of expectations for ourselves. We have a lot of expectations for other people. And this is really not the time and place for a bunch of expectations because our brains are going through a lot. Our brains have a really hard time with major transition. Not just this stuff with this coronavirus. And transitioning into this new way of life for the foreseeable future, for at least the next few months, of being more socially isolated, about having to keep to ourselves, about having the disruption in our routine, our lives, and what we have known to be mostly normal in our lives has changed overnight. And that is very disruptive for our brains. Our brains have a hard time with transition, with change. Almost any kind of change, especially major change in a short amount of time. So that's the bad news. The good news is our brains are also incredibly adaptable. Human beings are one of the most adaptable creatures on the planet. So as hard as it is for us to go through the transition of change, we get to the other side and we are fine. But that's why this is the hardest part right now. We are in the middle of it. We've just had the carpets pulled out from under us. And we're trying to find our footing. We're trying to know what to do with ourselves. We're trying to know how to handle it. For a lot of us, there has been major changes, even with job loss or job transitions or reduction in hours, working from home. Being home a lot more, not having connection with our friends and family, or even having conversations with our neighbors. This is a big deal. We think about how hard it is to just start a new job. So let's say outside of this whole coronavirus thing, starting a new job. So I'm guessing most of you have started a new job at some point in your life. For some of you, maybe that was a long time ago and you don't remember, but think back to your first day, your first week, your first couple weeks of a new job. Even if you kind of knew what you were doing, you had even the training to be able to handle it, but you went in there for that first little bit and it felt very uncomfortable. It felt vulnerable. It felt awkward. You didn't know exactly what was expected of you. You didn't know exactly what you were doing. You didn't know what the exact rules were or the company norms were. So you kind of felt like this fish out of water, and you felt really vulnerable and really uncomfortable. But then you kept going, and you kept showing up, and you kept figuring it out, and you kept being uncomfortable and going through the transition. And if you've been at your job for a little while now, chances are you are just fine. And that period is over, and you've adapted and adjusted to this new way of being. And so that's kind of what we're all going through now in a more heightened, in a more intense way, because it's not just our jobs. It's not just a job that may have changed. It is almost our entire lives for many of us, or big parts of our lives. And so this is the hardest part, because we're trying to figure out what to do, how things are supposed to go. Our brains are trying to figure out how to adapt to being more isolated, to maybe working from home, to not having the same things that we're used to having every single day, going to restaurants that we go to, going and participating in activities, going out in the community on the weekends and going out with your families or your friends or whoever, even by yourself, going out and doing things that you would normally do. And your brain is having a hard time with it. So this is why we need to be kind to ourselves, lower the expectations we have for ourselves, and also try our best to be kind to others and lower our expectations of them as well, because they are having a hard time in this transition too. And it's interesting when you look around and you see the different ways that people are coping. People are coping in all kinds of different ways. Some people are just trying to plow through and go on with their lives and not think about it and just sort of keep the blinders on and just keep their lives as normal as possible. Some people have taken a step back, and they've been using this time to reflect, to take it easy, maybe to sleep more, maybe to journal more, maybe to watch more movies and just take it a little bit down for themselves. Some people have been watching the news 24/7, scrolling like crazy, updating, looking, searching, trying to find answers, trying to find solutions, trying to understand what's happening, trying to get some control. Other people are talking about all the horrible things that are happening. All other people are talking about all of the sort of worst case scenarios of what could come of this. Other people are spending this time in gratitude, appreciating the little things, recognizing what they have always had that they were taking for granted. Some people are going up and down with maybe any or all of these, depending on the hour or depending on the day. The truth is, there's no right way to cope. We're all doing our best. We're all trying to figure out what to do with ourselves. Most of us are trying to get some kind of control when things feel out of control. And that's just what the human brain likes to do. The human brain hates feeling out of control and hates uncertainty. And so we're all just trying to figure out how to find the ground underneath our feet again. So if we can be patient and compassionate. And it doesn't mean we don't still have boundaries with other people. It doesn't mean that if they're talking about things that we don't want to talk about, or they are sending us things that we don't want to be reading. I put a post on this on Instagram. I'll put the link below. You can go check that out. We absolutely still need to have boundaries during this time. We can let people cope how they want to cope, but it doesn't mean we have to stick around for however they are coping if it is not helpful for us. So being able to still have our boundaries, being able to pay attention to what we need right now is going to be really important. The other thing that we need to think about, and the other thing we need to remind our brains of, is that global crisis like this, it's not our first rodeo as human beings. We have been through things like this before. Maybe not you personally, maybe not us in this generation have been through something like in this magnitude before, but humanity has been through major crisis before. And because we are all here right now, humanity has gotten through it. We have the proof that we can get through it. And so knowing that things have never been fully certain, we're just being awakened to that right now. by seeing that things have never been certain. There's no such thing as full certainty. But a lot of us have kind of been riding this wave of things going pretty predictably. And now this is a big hitch in that. But this is not the first time humanity has been through something like this. So reminding ourselves of that, insisting that everything be certain and everything be fully in our control in order for us to be okay is not a great strategy, because it's just not possible. Doesn't mean we're not still allowed to have our feelings. Doesn't mean we're not still allowed to be going through whatever it is we're going through, but we pay attention to that and we notice that. Emotional intelligence is not about never having an uncomfortable or quote unquote negative feeling. It's about being able to observe ourselves when we do. It's about being able to notice what our brain is doing. It's about being able to pay attention to what's going on inside of us in any situation and understanding what's going on inside of us in any situation. So just pay attention. Pay attention to whatever it is that your brain is doing right now. And for a lot of us, pay attention to your brain wanting to get pulled into the fear and panic, because that's just what the human brain does. When it is faced with a lot of uncertainty and feeling really out of control, it wants to go into fear or panic. So just notice and pay attention to whatever it is that is happening. And one more thing. For most of us, if we are not in actual immediate danger at this moment, or if we are not in immediate physical pain at this moment, we are okay. In this moment, you are okay. Aside from your thoughts about what could happen, what might happen, or your thoughts about the past, about what did happen, or what should have happened, if you are just to bring yourself to this present moment, and aside from any thought that is pulling you away from it, you are okay. I am okay. In this moment, you are okay. We are going to get through this. We are going to get to the other side. We are in this together. We are doing this together. Post in the comments below what's been working for you, what's been helping you, what's been healing for you. And if you want more support, if you want more tools, if you want to be learning how to manage this better and these emotions better, then come and join the Shift Society. There's an incredible community in there. And I am also in there a lot more right now, just giving extra help and extra support and extra coaching, because we need it. There's a lot of people that need it more than ever right now. So come and join us in the Shift Society. If there are other people that you know who need this information, share it with them. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video, and let me know how you're doing in the comment section below. And until next time, take good care.